figure it out.
Yeah, well that's why, that's why I brought her here.
To let you even see him at all. I could have not at all.
Well, I think
that would be unreasonable.
So where are you right now, Casey, with visitation?
Well,
with the arrangement right now?
I got really frustrated because, A, my parents are not the choice makers in Nick's life. Yes, he lived with them, but it is ultimately my decision what happens with him. So for them to make the choice to let him go with Sam against my, my choice, my decisions, what I asked of them, frankly pissed me off. So I said no to nobody.
Yeah, she's not even letting
for now.
See him.
I'm just, I need to reconnect with him. I need to know that that we still have a connection, which sounds like you understand. So right now, I'm just hanging out with Nick, and I'm not. He still sees my parents, but I haven't let anybody take him, and I don't want to keep it that way. I know that's kind of nuts, but I want to be there when he's with Sam.
So in your ideal of how this kind of how visitation could look, the ideal situation with Sam and Nick, what would you want that to look like?
I guess just the same as it was before. It's still new.
It's still new.
It's still new to have him, for me, to have Nick with Sam. So for me to be there, I was just getting used to that.
So you want to get used to it?
Yeah.
Now, when thinking just like playing with this idea that you build trust, can you see Sam having rights, like having unsupervised visitation with Nick in the future, or is that?
She could have seen it if she'd been here the last year.
You have to stop playing that card. You already know that it would be illegal for me to not go.
Well, I feel like there's always a choice.
Let me answer the question. I don't know.
You don't know?
Not if you ask.
So Sam, where are you at with the legal process right now?
There's no legal process so far.
Okay.
It's not. I want to. I'm just really upset about this situation, and I'm trying to be calm, and I apologize if I'm, keep bringing that up, but, I'd like this to be resolved outside of the courts. I feel like we can do it if there's open communication. This is the first time that I've actually seen her, even since she left for Iraq. I feel like we can put the well-being of our child ahead of whatever problems we have.
And the well-being of the child for you means?
That he has two parents. If you think about it, the last year he's really enjoyed spending quality time with me, one-on-one time with me. I think that it's, what's really upsetting the flow here is she is now waltzed back into the scene and, has changed things. Does he ever ask about me? Does he ever wonder, what happened to my overnights with Dad? I'm sure that he does. So I think, if anything, we should just continue on the trajectory that we've been going on, which is me getting to spend more time with him. There are so many deadbeat dads out there. I just don't feel like, I feel like I'm being forced to be a deadbeat dad, where that's not what I want. I want to be a good dad.
I'm not saying that you can't be in his life and that you can't help us and support us, him. I just don't want him to go and be alone with you again.
But I think that that's her issue. So, that is, I understand a mother is wanting to be protective of her child, and, I respect that and everything, but again, going back to the well-being of our son, I feel like it's, when given an opportunity to have two parents in the scene or versus one parent, I feel like it's the healthy thing to do to give the child access to both parents. I mean, I don't want my son growing up wondering why he didn't have a dad.
I'm not
assuming
saying that he should be without you.
But he's going to assume that I don't want to see him.
He knows you do.
Well, don't you think, I mean, it just seems weird that, I just try to look at it from his perspective, like, why does he think you're always there when I'm there? It just doesn't seem like,
Not that he would necessarily know as a newborn, but you weren't.
Well, if I'm going to stop playing the Iraq card, you've got to stop playing that card because I wasn't allowed to be
relevant.
there. It's all relevant, but...
You know, I'm curious, Sam, what has it been like for you not to see him?
It's been terrible, and I don't understand why you can't understand that. I mean...
Tell us a little bit about what that's been like for you.
It's been awful. I mean, from the moment he was born, you know, Nick has been, you know, a huge part of my life. Whether or not I've actually been able to spend time with him, I think of him every minute of every day, and you know, have tried to get more visitation rights. I mean, I've been taking what I can get because I don't want to rock the boat. You know, I've seen what happens when couples go into the court system, and I don't want our son to be pulled in two opposite directions. You know, I don't want him to think bad of his mother, and I don't want him to think bad of me. I just want us to, you know, co-parent. And so, you know, so then finally I get this opportunity where I actually get to spend time with him, and it's better than I could have ever imagined. You know, I get to, you know, stay up late reading him stories while he goes to sleep, and, you know, take him and introduce him to my family, some of which he hasn't even met because, you know, she's
So what has it been like now that you haven't been able to spend time with
So now that she's back and she's, you know, cooped him up in her house and won't let me or his grandparents see her, it's terrible. It's the worst thing that could possibly happen. I mean, I went from having the exact situation that I would desire to have to having the exact opposite, which is never seeing him. I mean, it's at least when she's there, like, you know, even supervised visits are better than what we have right now, because right now she doesn't return my calls. And
Sounds like you're pretty upset about the change.
Yeah, I am very upset about the change. It's really bad.
Probably a little sad too.
Yeah, I'm very sad about it. I mean, you can't understand unless you know, have a child that's taken away. It's not fair, you know. And he's at an age now where he's, you know, I mean, he's obviously not breastfeeding. She's been gone for a year. I mean, he's officially a separate being from her now. I just don't understand why, like, what the holdup is.
So, I think what I would like to do at this point is just take a little breather, okay? And just meet with you each individually for a couple minutes and check in. I just know with often, you know, it can be pretty emotionally charged, especially when we're talking about kids. I think I'm going to check in with Casey first. Sam, there's water in the lobby over there if you wanted to help yourself. And I'll come get you. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, great. I'd walk you out. So, Casey, how's it going? What are you thinking right now?
I mean, I know he wants to be with him. And yeah, he asks for him. But it's just so hard to let go of the fact that he wasn't there. He says he tried to be there. He didn't try hard enough in my eyes, and I've told him that.
So he's there now. Your
He's
son's
there
asking
now.
for him. How's that feel?
I mean, it hurts a little bit. I don't know.
Why does it hurt?
Because he wasn't there for us. Now all of a sudden he's there and he wants to be there. I get it. He should have a daddy, you know? It's just a weird situation. It's been weird that I've been gone. I love Nick. I want to be with him. I want him to be with me. I'm not saying he can't have a daddy. I haven't had a chance to really see how he is with him, and I